Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're just going to be making some really delicious, fast and easy sourdough sandwich bread. And to start off, you really have to have a nice active fed sourdough starter. So as you can see, my container is like basically empty. So because of the type of container I have, I only feed my starter about 1 cup of flour to 1 and 1.5 cups of water. And as I noticed that my sourdough starter is starting to age, that is a bit too much flour and water, because I notice sometimes it does like overgrow in my refrigerator. It might, start to bubble at the top a little bit. And yeah, so if you have a smaller container like me, maybe not feed it so much. But so far it works out for me. I've been working with this sourdough since August of 2022. So we're kind of like best friends now, so, we know each other well. But I'm just mixing my sourdough up right now, and this is what it looks like after I get done mixing it all up. And I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to set for a few minutes to maybe an hour. It just depends on your sourdough starter, because yours might become active way faster than mine. But I'm just going to let it sit. And in a few minutes, you'll see how bubbly and active it is. So I got my nice bubbles going here. So it's ready to make bread. So I went ahead and added my active sourdough starter to some water. And all the measurements will be below in the description box for you guys to go ahead and check out, so you can get the exact measurements and the clear instructions to everything that I'm doing. But as you guys can see, I'm just really mixing the sourdough well into the water with a spoon. And you can use your hands, it really doesn't matter. Get your hands dirty if you want to. I just prefer to use a spoon, because when I'm cooking, I'm always multitasking, doing a lot of different things besides cooking. So I really try and do my best not to get my hands dirty a lot of times. And, my whisk is broken, so that's why you see me using a spoon. So I'm going in and adding in my flour now, and I'm using this 20-pound, no, I don't think it's 20. I think it is 20-pound bag of flour I got from Costco. It's organic. So you guys seen earlier that I freshly fed my yeast, and I waited a few hours before I started using it. So I've added 2 cups of flour to my mixture, and I'm just kind of mixing up this water and flour to make kind of like a little shaggy dough. This bread does not require much. It just requires some salt and oil. So we're not going to be doing eggs or butter or anything like that. It's very simple. So I'm going to go ahead and add my oil. So I went ahead and added my avocado oil and salt. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it a nice stir. So I had to go ahead and add just a little bit more flour, about 1 more cup, because it just wasn't enough. It was too wet. So I'm going to continue mixing this with my spoon. I do not want to get my hands dirty, and I'm going to cover it over for 20 minutes. Alright, so I know the bread is kind of looking very weak right now, but this is what it's supposed to look like. This is a quick, very simple sourdough recipe. This is something that's going to be ready in at least the next hour to 45 minutes to be put into the oven. So we're going to go through the process after you continue mixing everything, and you go through with your bench scraper and scrape and fold. It's going to look something like what I just showed you, and we're going to let it sit covered for 20 minutes. So I pulled off a piece of parchment paper, and on the front side of it, oiled it a slight bit and laid it on top of my bread. That bread dough, so that when I peel it off in the next 20 minutes, it's not going to stick to my dough, just for convenience. But if you have more traditional baking goodness and gaddis in your house, like saran wrap, you can just put some saran wrap over your bowl. So it's been 20 minutes and I'm about to take my top off of this bread dough that I have here, and I'm not doing anything fancy with it. I'm just about to basically fold it over itself maybe 5 times. This is like one of the simplest sourdough recipes you will probably ever see on the internet, because I am not going through waiting like overnight to make this loaf of bread. So I'm just going to show you guys my technique. So I just wanted to tap in really quickly with you guys for you to understand the next steps of what we're going to be doing with this dough. Once it's finished rising in the bowl, you're going to go ahead and shape it. And that's what you're going to see me doing here in the next few clips. You're going to see me shaping this dough. It's very unconventional to regular bread recipes that I've seen. This method, we're going to be doing a series of folds, and we're also going to split up this dough into 3 equal parts, and then we're also going to fold those 3 equal parts, and it's going to look like little rolls, and then we're going to put it in our loaf pan. So you're going to see what I'm talking about here. This recipe was inspired by the Japanese soft bread loaf recipe. It's very, very famous. I don't want to butcher the name, but it's the Japanese soft loaf bread, and that's the inspiration that I took when shaping this loaf. So you guys can go ahead and watch me. It's very detailed, but yeah, so let's go ahead and jump back in. bread in the pan. I'm going to let it rise for about an hour and 45 minutes or until it at least triples in size. Yeah, so I felt like I deserved this tonight. This is my hot chocolate with the works, okay? Dandy's marshmallows and some 75% dark chocolate with some organic 365 whipping cream on top. Yeah, I've been doing a lot today, so I feel like I can unwind with this delicious cup of hot cocoa. I also got to clean off my counters. Okay, so after 2 hours, I'm finally ready to put my bread in the oven. Depending on the temperature of your house, it wouldn't take this long. The first time I made this bread, it wasn't as cold in my house, so it did not take 2 hours. It took about an hour and 30 to make my bread rise. So I'm going to just go ahead and brush some milk on the top of the bread here. When I do it like this, it helps it get brown, like a nice brown color. And you could very well brush it with eggs or butter, but I like milk. It works pretty well. And now we're going to place it in the oven at 340 degrees. Okay, we're going to wash the dish. Two hands. I don't have an actual bread knife.
What's the point of cutting it if you don't have an actual bread knife?
So this is what the bread looks like. So the bread is all done now. It looks absolutely scrumptious and amazing. This is my second time making this bread and I'm so proud of myself, and I think you'll be proud of yourself too because it is super easy. Like, you can totally do this as long as you have a sourdough starter. Even if you don't have a sourdough starter, you could very well replace the sourdough starter with regular store-bought yeast. But this recipe is so simple, anyone could do it. I'm so thankful that you guys got to the end of this video, and don't forget to subscribe and like and share this video with your friends and family. Happy New Year's, happy 2023, and stay blessed.